scenario.
Are they hearing this when this comes out, that we're talking over it every time?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Do they hear that? I like that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Here's the Scenario, a hypothetical-based podcast where we answer what ifs, fucking would you rathers, marry, fuck, kills that will end our career,
or launch
them
on the wrong side of them.
depending on who you are and how you know us.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Brendan Sagalow, being joined with me as always,
Mike Cannon, and also
Mike Feeney.
you did it.
I did it.
You got
I
through
got a
it.
new confidence, you know.
Do you? Do you feel more at ease with yourself?
A little bit, yeah. I'm feeling comfortable in my dry skin.
Why? What happened?
You know, I'm just I'm showing more people my music.
Okay.
I'm
No,
get-
you're not. I did. I showed Nicole your music.
Well, I showed fucking Are You Garbage's Hank Foley,
Okay. All right. Nice.
and he and he was like, "This is good."
That's the one that's on the Patreon right now?
Yeah, the ones that are on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/scenario pod.
Yeah, it's all on the podcast, baby. So if you want to hear me spit some fucking fire,
Yeah.
join the Patreon.
Some real bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun little journey, man. You go, okay, all right. I like everybody slowly being like, okay.
Journey. I mean, it's one of many things that you could find up on the Patreon
This is-
before Brendan hangs himself with his own tie.
What the
Yeah,
fuck are you
yeah,
doing?
yeah.
This is my show. I'm in the chair.
It's one of the many things you can find on the Patreon. Don't think of it as bonus hip hop footage. That's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
yeah,
Brendan occasionally feels very inspired, and he throws out a hip hop verse
Yeah.
over a nice free beat that one of our patrons sends him, which is very, very generous, very exciting. We also have Mike Takes Edibles up there. Feeney and Sags put their sketches up there super early. I got a new Mike Takes Edibles coming out that the delightful producer Nicole is editing and absolutely crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, we just got a ton of content. We're putting more and more up there. Mike and Branders with coffee. We have
Coffee
coffee
with
in the
Mark
morning
and
on the
Branders.
road, which is very exciting. Tons of stuff. Excellent. That's not what this podcast is about. This podcast is the hypothetical stuff.
Mhm.
Let's get to the questions.
Yeah,
shall we?
and if you guys want to send us a question that we will obviously answer, I mean, we get to every single question. Just follow the Instagram, the Here's the Scenario Instagram, and send us a DM, and
Yeah.
we will fucking answer it. And if we skipped you, I guess sorry.
If we skipped,
Write a better question next time.
well, you also know how to get to us because then you just follow up and you say
Yeah.
something kind of like sad and we
Passive
feel
aggressive.
bad.
Yeah. So let's get into our first question. This comes from Dave on June 26th.
Nice, just a shade over a month.
Yeah. So I guess it's hard.
We'll
Fine,
obviously answer everyone's questions.
He said, "Hey guys, would you rather A, crash while leading the Kentucky Derby, B, crash while leading the Tour de France,
Hey.
or C, crash while leading the Indy 500?" Which is a really good
I
question.
mean, I would absolutely choose the Tour de France because one is me not going 177 miles an hour into an embankment, which is the other two. It's a high-speed race versus a bicycle. I'll fall off a bicycle, and I think I'll be all right. Instead of,
don't know,
would you rather
man.
take a wall at 210, or would you rather fall off something going 30?
It depends what you're hoping for out of it.
Yeah.
let's be
Oh, I'm
honest.
sorry. I want to live.
Oh,
I'm happy with my life.
So that's where I was going because
Yeah.
I personally would just let go and let God and
Yeah.
just hit the wall doing 300.
Yeah, I would love to just be spinning in slow motion, upside down. My
Oh.
coffee is like, I'm like drinking it.
You just hear Mozart playing.
Yeah.
You're plummeting over the crowd. You're trying to pick out which fucking NASCAR T-shirt you're
Oh
about
my
to hit.
God. And also, when you fall or crash in the Tour de France, a bunch of bicycles are just hitting your fucking head.
Not if you have a long lead.
I don't know. After that dipshit hit everybody with their one sign and everybody like front flipped over their
Yeah.
handlebars, I think Tour de France is last for me. I'd rather hit a hoof and just plummet doing 70 on a horse and just, hope to hit one of its haunches and get launched into a soft zone.
Imagine, but then you're getting clomped over by every
You're getting
horse.
clomped.
Yeah, but what if you can remove yourself from the potential clomping by the horse just kind of breakneck speeds hits its teeth into the thing and its ass just projectiles you 50 feet into a hay pile?
Yeah, you just land like Assassin's
Yeah, and you're
Creed.
fine. You may hit a pitchfork and it'll just hit your tits or
Yeah,
something.
and on the Tour de France, you can like push off of the the bike. You can like, if you're crashing in a bike, you can like figure it out and kind of like land on your feet.
That's spoken by someone who doesn't know what he's talking about.
As I'm saying that, I go, they're gonna call me out on this one.
Well, because those bikes, you're leaning forward, so you're in no position to like do what you just said. But I think you're thinking of like a skateboard.
Yes.
Do you know how to ride a bike?
Yeah, I know how to ride a bike.
I'm just asking, dude. I'm not coming after you. You seem like a kid who bicycling may have just skipped you.
No,
Tyrone may have just decided it's no good for this generation.
No, Tyrone taught me how to ride a bike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with training wheels.
Okay, and he also taught you how to launch yourself off the back feet doing 60 around a turn of France.
And those bikes are like skinny as fuck. I really do think I could, if I was going and I'm like biking really fast and I hit something, I think I could fucking like at least try to land on my feet.
The only thing you could do is if you were Jackie Chan and you hit it, you could do a front flip and try to land on your feet. But you're not falling this way and then jumping backwards and landing onto your feet.
Well, and I think
momentum don't work that way.
No, and I also think what Brendan is forgetting about is the element of surprise when it comes to a crash.
It happens in a split second.
It's out of nowhere. You're not seeing a rock and being like, that'll be my crash spot, and then how do I deploy myself on this banana seat? No, instead you're like really trying to win a race, and out of nowhere a rogue, pebble gets in the way, and all of a sudden you're no longer on your bike.
I will say this: if I survive the Tour de France and I the crash, and I'm still in the lead, and my bike is so fucked that I'm not going to be able to like make it, I'm going to like run alongside with the bicycle to try to still finish first, and anybody who tries to pass me is getting a fucking stick in the spokes.
Yeah. I mean, I will.
I'll throw my bike in front of theirs.
I think what you're probably what's easier than to try to land, because I don't think anybody's going to land.
No one in history could ever.
But
land.
I think what you could possibly do is use your body as a defeat my competition.
Yeah.
I think the best you could do as you're in air is try to just kind of angle yourself to take off number 2 and 3 in the race.
Yeah, I like that actually. Yeah, no clomping. I don't want to get clomped.
I think I'm a clomper. I think I'm going to,
horse.
I'm going horse because I do. I mean, obviously, if the horse rolls back onto you, you're dead. Which again,
you're thinking you got to also remember there's the other horse. There's 12 other horses.
Yeah,
running at full clomping speed right behind you. Yeah,
I think you're paralyzed no matter what. I think Tour de France, you're probably losing some teeth and having a couple pebbles being permanently in your skin.
It's some road rash. But you got a helmet on. You're even with your jockey, it's like they barely have they have like a leather hat. It's not even like a real thick like save me helmet.
What's best in terms of legacy, though? Like, who's remembered forever? I feel like Dale Earnhardt Jr. is more remembered for doing 240 into a wall than, say, Tiny McMuffin, who rode on, rose tit horse fuck, is known for.
Well, I think it depends where you are. I bet in France, Dale Earnhardt Jr. doesn't garner a lot of but
I don't think he's big.
Oui.
Yeah.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Isn't racing big in France?
Not American NASCAR.
No, I guess it's Formula One, but isn't there still like a NASCAR Euro?
Yeah, but Dale was never part of that.
NASCAR.
Dale just called the French pussies a bunch, I think, and was like,
I bet there's one guy who's super into like the racing in France who's like, you do not know Dale Earnhardt.
I mean, isn't this exactly what Talladega Nights was based on?
Yeah, let's write Talladega Nights.
Worse.
Yeah, much worse.
What's also bad about the horse thing is the sound the horse is going to make when it falls. It's like, not only is it like, that's going to be like...
That's guttural.
There's not much worse than a horse in
winning.
Stress.
Like,
I guess that
was a go.
That was a terrified man. That was not a horse. I love how Brendan's horse is. No!
My horse is like when Goofy fell off a cliff. It was like, yeah! Nay. My horse is very old. Nay. All right, here's another one. This comes from Mike Geary.
Oh.
Would you rather be the last person on Earth or be forever conjoined to your most annoying friend? Would you rather be the last person on Earth or forever conjoined to your most annoying to Feeney?
Last person on Earth, 100%. I don't want.
No.
I have a tough time sharing a podcast with you two. I can't imagine sharing a hip. You know what I mean?
If you put me attached at the hip to Ian, it's gonna be tough.
yeah.
Can I smoke? Are we cool? Can we do this? Can we do that? What are we doing? What do you want to do for dinner? You want to get food?
Yeah.
Feeney, I'm sweating.
Can we get up? I wanna...
We're gonna get 2 bites. Put the AC on. Now turn it off. It's too chilly.
Ian, we have to bathe.
Yeah.
We just bathed last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking alone forever because at least you can you go, well, I have the whole world to discover now.
I think I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
I think I've
Now
done.
you'd lose your mind.
I mean, yeah, sure. There's gonna be.
We all
Who
would.
would know?
We all-
So who cares? It's
Yeah.
just me being insane by myself. So
Yeah.
I'm the only objective opinion, and I think I'm normal.
I do think I would
Yeah.
fare better being alone in the world than you two because I grew up without siblings.
Yeah.
So I already am very familiar with how to do that.
Yeah, that's true. But also, yeah, like you said, going crazy would just be, this is the new normal.
Listen,
Is losing my mind.
I would rather have like if I had a 5-foot leash with somebody, then we could kind of I could do that. I could do that with anybody. But the idea of being just adhesive,
The extra weight.
Yeah, just stuck to each other and having to move my feet in unison with
Yeah.
someone else and having to choreograph my
Ugh.
entire life based on someone else's movement, I would just be
Everything.
It would not be
Jerking
okay.
off,
I'd
shitting.
I would kill myself quicker than if I'm alone.
Yeah, and then you'd just be a lifeless, conjoined fucking thing.
It kind of be fun in the beginning being alone, you know? You get to scavenge for food, especially if there's no zombie apocalypse because I assume there's still animals. There's just no people. So you're things are
You can have pets, yeah.
you can have a dog. You can have a good
This
time.
actually sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of just sounds like doing San Antonio from Wednesday to Monday.
Yeah, this is the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I feel when I'm doing River
wait.
Center
You,
improv.
you didn't tell me I was going to have to stay in a Ramada Inn. Never mind. I'm out now. Give me the
even
conjoined
worse.
twin. Anything to get out of the Motel 6 life.
The conjoined feature.
Even
Yeah.
worse, it's the Red Roof Plus under an overpass.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun to be alone because you can just go all right, well, let me just try to find, let me discover some parts of the world. Let me go to Egypt and shit. I mean, how do you even get there? You're stuck. You have to build a house.
John Travolta, you have to fly yourself. You have to figure it out.
Yeah, but then gas runs out.
I would be better at. I would rather do trust myself to take a ship over there.
It would be such. Oh yeah.
Oh, I
You
wouldn't.
could figure out a ship.
I could definitely.
feel
pilot a
like-
ship. It's just that way for a long time.
Yeah, but the
No,
waves
but there's
get
chop.
big.
the waves
You
get
have
real
to,
big.
You have to learn how to lean into the waves and
Oh my
carve.
God.
Well, you have to have
snowboarder.
a ship, not a boat, because the boat won't have enough gas. But if you have if you're on a ship,
Yeah,
you're I
yeah.
could fucking.
But I
do that.
feel like planes are more able to fly themselves than ships are able to navigate
yes,
themselves.
once you take them off the
Yeah,
ground.
land
So
off
that
them.
and we're both going in with the exact amount of knowledge we have now to learn how to ride a boat or plane. I've
You could
driven
read a book.
I've driven many boats without having to know anything besides steering wheel, throttle, forward and back,
I think
Yeah, but you've driven them on lakes,
and ocean.
deep hundreds and thousands of miles into the
Yeah.
middle of
Hundreds of thousands of miles
hundreds
around the world, 77 times.
I said N-thousand. Two
What-
separate areas.
But what about that documentary you showed me on the train about the surfers that do those huge waves?
Yeah.
You're going to have to deal
You
with
understand,
those
boats,
huge waves.
they have cross-continental cruises all the time.
I know,
They go
but
from
you're gonna have to deal with that.
yeah.
So, but
And icebergs.
and icebergs.
Yeah, here's the thing. Again, didn't say it was easy,
Scenario.
but compare it to flying, it is
Flying,
ridiculously
no other
much
plane-
easier.
No other planes in the air. You could probably watch
Spoken like two people who have never been in a plane.
Probably watch. I've been in more planes than you could even
In
see.
cockpits?
This is like how Trump was. He's like, I've been in more planes.
Yeah,
than you
yeah.
ever
I am a
had."
plane.
You don't even know what a plane is.
Yeah. I'm the only one here that's flown a plane. And I'm telling you,
I've flown a plane.
where?
There's more proof of that.
No, I had an
Then
Instagram
why aren't
account.
I've flown a flight simulator.
Microsoft Flight Simulator?
No, 737 Boeing at the Boeing Institute.
Did you?
Yeah.
You drove it right into a building. Though.
That was on purpose.
Yeah, that was
training for something.
Well, then why aren't you picking plane? If you've flown
because I know how hard it is to do.
You don't know how easy commercial flight is, though. It's super easy.
Shit
They
runs
do it for
itself.
yourself. You flick on a couple buttons, you press go, and then you're in the air.
It is.
Yeah, it's fun to just
Say stuff.
say
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and
yeah.
just-
Especially when somebody is getting angry.
I'm just like, I don't even know how
We're
to.
blown away that we keep
Yes,
going.
yes,
So we're not
that's what it is.
Yes, Feeney, you're right.
Yeah.
We just
It's
go,
wrong.
nah,
It's wrong.
nah.
I've
Yeah.
never seen a flight.
Nah, you get in, you put your feet up, you say 1, 2, hit a button, and
1, 2, buckle my shoe, and that's the code word.
yeah.
I don't even
know
think
how
Brendan will
fucking-
get off the runway. Brendan will just crash into
the ocean?
yeah.
Whoopsie poopsie.
Yeah.
And I just fucking
You just sully it out.
And then you just take the raft from the plane and start paddling across the ocean.
and I
You're like, guess Feeney was right as you're rowing.
Yeah.
This is what we're missing. Is we also have unlimited mulligans. We could just plummet the fucking plane into
Yeah.
the Hudson, swim out, get back into another plane.
All you have to do that is
Try
survive a
again.
bunch of plane crashes, which,
Hey.
as we know, is so simple.
I mean, Travis Barker did it, and now he's marrying the hottest Kardashian.
So it just shows to show you there's permanent damage.
yeah, brain damage. So I'm taking a loan.
I'm gonna fly.
Well,
What's the question?
Not, yeah,
question? This is like a
we all
Simpsons
chose the loan.
episode.
Convoy on a loan.
Oh, convoy.
Convoy on flight.
Okay. Next question. Oh, comes from nobody. Hold on. Okay. From Muthani.
Oh,
This
new
question-
Patreon member. Just
New
the-
Patreon.
Thank you, buddy.
member. Thank you, buddy. I'm just saying exactly what you're saying.
I think I don't know what you do more of, what you just did or saying, like, I'm just saying what you're saying.
I have
You've been saying that so much recently.
I have to.
And now it's making me notice every time you do it.
yeah, I do it a lot. I just, yeah. Anyway, okay. Muthani.
Muthani from
If
Barcelona.
there another pod you had to love that no one knows? I'm thinking, is there another pod that you had to love that no one knows? I mean, this dude.
Maybe English isn't his first language,
No, I
bro.
think he's asking for a podcast recommendation. Like, is there another podcast that you keep near and dear to your heart that you love that maybe is not out there in the world that people know about?
I really love
This one.
Yeah. This is the only
Patreon.
this is the only podcast that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
So this is the only one that I think you should know and listen to.
I did.
subscribe,
I
and rate
stopped
on iTunes.
listening and subscribe on iTunes and leave a
Five-star review.
5-star.
You're just saying what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. What you're
I'm just saying. I'm gay.
Yeah.
I don't. I almost said it. I don't have many because I used to listen to a lot of podcasts with like comedians that we
Yeah.
know, and I just kind of got really annoyed with it.
Mm.
Just hearing people talk about their lives that I know, and then like not mention how good I am at stand up.
Yeah,
Especially when you're there with them at a certain like show or like party or hang, and it's like a small hang. There's only like 7
Yeah,
of you,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
name
Don't mention
5
you.
others, and besides you and the guy who delivered your Uber Eats, and you're like,
five other comics named Brendan. They're like, Brendan? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Musburger. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, Musburger. I wish that was my last name.
could really
I
play.
Musburger.
Yeah. You're constantly just.
Brendan
All right,
Musburger.
everybody. I'm Brendan, and I must burger now. And then he eats as he's walking off the stage. You eat a burger as you walk off.
Yeah, people in the front row have like those covers, like a Gallagher concert, because you know.
I
Hey, are
see.
we recording? Jesus Christ! Bum, bum,
Oh.
bum.
I guess that deserved a standing ovation
Yeah.
in his mind.
Just some sort of like help.
Well, you weren't done talking yet. You were like, so I just because the Gallagher concert. How are we recording? You were
Yeah.
you were
This
still.
isn't a fucking relay race where you hand us the baton 75% of the way through a joke for us to slam home what
Or
you're
to
thinking.
try to make a joke the last leg of the race.
Then what are we doing?
A podcast.
Isn't that what a podcast is? I
Sure.
start a joke. It's just the foundation of something.
You say a joke, Mike and I finish it. You repeat what we said.
And
Say,
then
I'm just
tweet it.
repeating it.
Yeah, and then tweet it. So what was the question?
What podcast would
Oh.
you? Yeah, I'm the same
I
way
like
as you do.
movie
The second the
podcasts.
pandemic hit,
Yeah.
my like podcast listenership went down by about 95%. At this point, it's like only certain. I will say once in a while when I'm feeling frisky and or I have a long drive to a gig that I want to feel a little smarter, I will listen to some revisionist history with Malcolm Gladwell. But a lot of times he's like, he really's got to win me over. He's always usually talking about something I couldn't give a shit less about. And it's like very pick and choose because sometimes he's got a very interesting take on it, like a societal issue. And you're like, oh, this is cool. Versus other times where he's just like really like invested in like an album from the 70s and why it's the best album ever made. And you're like, no, this is terrible, or whatever it is. But
unless you like that album, then you're like, fuck yeah.
But you wouldn't like that album because it's so like, it's a bad album, but really, if you guys think about it, it's the best album. You're like, yeah.
Anytime I try to listen to a podcast to like make me better or something, I'll go to like the NPR ones and be like, okay, let me look at this, and nothing even speaks to me.
NPR just seems very. Everybody is talking in the same voice about the same stuff, and it's very just.
And that little fucking dun dun.
And also it seems I get a lot of condescension from a lot of NPR shows, just in general. Just the tone is like, well, as you know, because you've been going to black studies in your time, you understand the plight of the African American as a white man.
Black studies.
You're like,
no, I've never.
You know what my favorite unknown? I was just combing through what I listened to, and is you know what? I'll do a plug for this network because it's Joe List's Mindful Metal Jacket. I love that show, and Joe has a lot of like. That's one of the few things that I can listen to comics on. Especially, I think Bobby did an episode, or somebody did, where it was like really in depth about anxiety and depression and talking about that stuff. Where it's like I can really relate to that, and it just you take a bite out of it. It's not necessarily comedy, but it's in a delivery system that is digestible.
Yeah.
So I really like Joe's podcast, and it's helped me a lot because I share a lot of the same weird anxieties and thought control problems that Joe has.
Yeah, that is a really good podcast.
Yeah. I do feel like comedy, like not that one because that's again like mental health stuff, but like comedy podcasts are very hard for me to listen to because it's like how the sausage is made kind of a thing. It's like watching, it's like going to comedy shows or watching comedy movies. Like the bar for me to like be interested has to be so high and usually like so original that if it's just like,
it really depends on how I'm feeling. Like I used to listen to Skanks a lot. And now I just don't because they're racist. No, I just don't. I just but that show used to really make me laugh. But or what was another one? Fuck. Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't think of a worse topic than podcast discussing podcasts. So let's go to another.
Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Like I'll like this will be the last thing I say, but like if I go to like Kevin Hart's podcast, sometimes I'm like, this is so cringy. Just two comics being like, it's like that character, the documentary thing that I was doing on Instagram. That was like every character in a stand-up documentary where they're like, nobody knew who Robin Williams was, and then the guy came in and he rocked the house, and nobody knew who he was.
I just, Kevin Hart is. I'm a fan of some of his work, but I do think it's funny that like he's doing WTF 15 years after it's like even remotely important. Yeah, we had these conversations, dude, in 2009.
Yeah,
we're good with finding out what's inside a comedian.
Yeah.
No,
I never want to know what's inside of Sebastian Maniscalco.
He'd actually be pretty good.
He was on the show, and it was okay.
I like the one he did with Seinfeld because you could tell they've met twice. Casually while passing each other going on stage. He's like, "So Jerry, so you had a show for a while." Like it's just like there was just like, no research. He's like, "You're one of the guys, right? New York City, something? Tell us." Yeah,
it's hilarious.
And he's like, and you're D-Ray, right? Like it just nobody knew who each other was.
D-Ray, you're JB Smooth.
Perspective.
Oh, okay. Here's another question from Certa Style.
Is it a question or is it more of a scenario?
It's more of a scenario. Here's the scenario. I assume that the IG... okay. Never mind. He's just saying something to us. I assume that the IG questions go on the free episodes and the Patreon questions go there. I'll submit accordingly. Okay.
Thanks for clarifying that for our listeners.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, very nice of you, and it's true.
And it's true, yeah. Submit questions to the fucking Tron. Okay. And now this is from the Big Book of If. Okay. Which apparently I think that they're English. I think the writers are English.
He's British.
Yeah, it's a little bit because
Book of If
the big book of if, isn't it?
Ain't it? I'll tell you what, I've been watching Too Hot to Handle lately, season 2. Have you watched that on Netflix? It's preposterous. It's one of the dumbest dating shows that has ever existed.
Oh, it's when you can't touch each other, right?
And I really like it.
Man,
it's
that
so
would
fun.
Fucking get me going.
This one guy who has teeth like Jim Carrey in The Mask, like absolute urinal, just fucking bonker. Like it's your teeth if a fucking
Zoomed in.
like zoomed in and drawn by a caricature artist.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. But he's like, you know, it's tough, isn't it? It's really difficult not to just fancy one of these fuckface.
They're all like Russell Brand.
It's all they're talking. Like, there's one guy from like San Diego, and he's like, "I'm here to fuck." And all the girls like, "Ugh."
It's really hard to touch each other because it's how we share the connection.
But I've been really liking and just speaking in his accent every once in a while in it. It's very fun.
That would I would cum my jeans.
You're not allowed to jerk off on the show, which is like,
dude.
you can't have me here for weeks with hot chicks, also with dudes competing for said women, and ask me not to release valve my aggression.
Yeah.
Because this is going to come out in a weird way, man. I'm going to fuck a wall. I'm going to fist fight somebody.
That's exactly what they're hoping for.
They're
I'm going to
hoping.
punch a cameraman.
You should apply to that show because that would 100% be exactly what they're hoping for. Is that you will not? If anyone's just sitting there like, yeah, no, I'm good. I would love to have sex, but it's all about the money. So I'll just wait. People will be like, you're out.
I'm not too hot to handle. I'm like too mediocre to meddle with.
Yeah, dude, they're hoping everybody on that show turns into fucking silverback gorillas.
Yeah. Oh, I just watched that South Park episode yesterday when
They're drawing the
when what's her name gets boobs and then she just goes like they just and it's just the favorite part is that they not only just do that and then just that everyone else can see them because like they do the and they all do that and then Mr. Mackey just goes okay and he just like moves on. He just is like he's just like what's happening.
That's so funny. All right, so this is how I know that they're English. They said
Pip.
They said, "Hello, mate. If you could destroy a single tape or CD that your mate plays, what would it be?"
That could also just be
That your
your
mate-
loved one.
Oh, yeah.
Single tape or a CD.
God, I'm
Brendan, you are
an idiot.
so without love. The idea of a mate is just, it could only be a
It can
friend.
only be English. It can't.
I do
be-
think they meant friend though, just because mate would be weird to be like, what is your mating partner? What thing would you
why
like to
would they
destroy?
say spouse or something.
Significant
People say
other.
mate.
Significant other. Let's just go with the American version of mate.
Okay.
Okay, something that like your chick plays and you want it fucking out of here. Is that the question?
I feel like that's such an old
It's
question
such
because
an
that's
old
when you
question.
would slip in a CD and then you couldn't get it off until 13 songs later. It's like now you hear one song and then it's a total different artist the next and then it's a total different artist and so on and so forth. I mean, I guess whenever Nicole puts on some sort of techno or dance music that she loves, I have to leave the room because my violence bubbles.
I didn't know Nicole liked EDM.
Yeah. I mean, she just likes everything. She's all into everything, and she likes dancing and, like, setting the mood, and she likes putting on certain upbeat shit, especially while she's arranging flowers, because it helps put her in, like, a joyful place. And I'm the exact opposite when I'm trying to write, because writing for me is not like, I can't hear
Yeah, no way.
in my head while I'm like trying to figure out the intricacies of a wording.
Yeah.
Like my eyelid just fucking started shuddering even thinking about focusing in that environment. So I don't know that, like whatever that is, I would love to burn her stereo system.
There's no place I'd rather be. Boom, ba, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah, I can't listen to anything with words while writing.
Yeah, I mean, I go to a coffee shop and it just plays in the background. Oops.
What was that?
I don't know, man. I'm always just like, I'm like,
You're just
my
misjudging.
my
your
arms
limbs?
just fucking hit. Like I'm never. It's not as.
It's as
I'm
if a
always
curse was put on you and you were just a boy yesterday.
just a boy yesterday.
Yes.
New male limbs, different size than when you were a boy.
Oh,
So you're not used to judging the distance.
yeah.
That.
I still don't get it, but I'm.
Do you
How
really
could you not?
Now I'm turning on you.
Legitimately, how could you
I
not?
just don't
There's
fucking
been so
get it.
movies based off, so
you're
many
a
movies
child,
based off
right?
it.
You're
Yeah.
a child. Your
Why
arms
was
are
I-
in here.
I
13
here.
going
I
on
get
30.
that.
Big.
Now, out of nowhere, same day,
Oh,
turned into
I
a
get
man.
what you're saying.
So your judgment on distance and things
Is
that are
off.
near you.
Spatial awareness.
I get it. I became Max at the beginning of the Goofy movie and became Goofy. I understand. Okay.
You're not turning into a dog. You're
Yeah.
not turning. You're
A
still
dog
you.
Human.
You also have
Goofy's
now,
a dog human.
You have no right to comment on my movie reference
Goofy
library
movie?
because you're sitting here. That's your third Goofy movie reference in this 40 minutes that we've been recording. So
I'm going for the fucking turkey. Okay. That was my second Goofy
okay.
reference. And I'm going to make another Goofy reference by the time this podcast is over.
That's okay. Nobody will be listening.
Yeah. They've already stopped.
Yeah.
They cut out after the whole bike fiasco.
Yeah.
All right, next question. If you could read the private diary of someone you know personally, whose diary would you read?
Feeney's.
Feeney's? Yeah.
I would love to know how he
Know what's
actually
going on.
feels.
I keep it under lock and key.
Yeah, you open it. It's just like a bunch of like squiggles and stuff. It's like a serial killer's
It's
diary.
just crop dust.
Yeah, I
design,
write
or
in
crop
circles.
circle.
yeah. It's like stick figures with their heads cut off and everything.
I've purposely never kept a journal because I'm always like, I had a time when I was doing like free writing, so I guess that was kind of like journaling, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I never kept like a journal as a kid or anything because I'm like, either these are my thoughts, and when I put them down, either someone's gonna find this and read it, and I don't want them to, or I'm going to have to save this my whole life and then go back and read it later on and be like, because I remember my grandmother had journals, diaries that she kept when she was a little girl, and even when she was like, I guess around the time she was meeting my grandfather and stuff, and then she was like, I don't ever want anybody to read them.
Because she was on the side of the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was like, I don't want anybody to read them even after I die. And then it was like,
I don't give a
That's
shit.
exactly why I journal.
I write like people are going to be reading this.
That's right.
what?
No,
You do?
No. I did.
Yes, you do. As do I.
Let me finish.
No.
Anyway, I when I first started, there was a little bit of that. But then
That is fascinating.
But then I started mentioning it in my entries. I go, why am I writing like anyone's going to read this? Why am I writing?
That also reads
why
like
do I
someone's gonna write
still? I know, but I'm like, why do I still have to perform even though this is just for me?
But why are you performing? I don't know. I'm really interested in the human condition and in what people go through throughout their lives. So what is it? You're not trying to present it to people. You're actually writing your real thoughts. It's unfiltered. It's authentic to you. I love that. I think that's really valuable to know how people are experiencing life. That's why I have no problem with anybody going through warts and all of the horrible shit that I've said or written, because I've actually intentionally done it as benchmarks to show growth over time. I used to talk about that with Rabbit Hole all the time, the conspiracy podcast, because I was very... and you grow and change throughout your life, but I was really big into transparency and how everybody should be transparent.
Yeah.
I think because I come from a long line of people who do not share anything, I've overcorrected and the pendulum have swung, and eventually there will probably be a healthy medium, hopefully achieved by my son. But it's like, all I want is for people to know how I feel.
How often do you read back?
Not really often, but I don't care
Reading
about
back
me.
is awesome.
I'm not even trying.
How far back do you read back?
I'll just say this so we go back to what you're saying, but I'll like go back to the beginning of the book and then I'll start, I'm not going to go a couple books back, but if I have a book and I'm like almost done, I'll go back. And
I'll do that. I'll go back to other books because what I'm currently writing is usually my hour that I'm working on. It's like in a notebook or two. That's what it's confined to. And so I don't need to really see what the beginning of it was because it's all the shit I'm just currently working on.
Yeah.
All of the old stuff where I've taken especially when I was a young comedian, and it's embarrassing. There's a lot of embarrassing stuff, but it's also a lot of like hopes and dreams and like shit that I'm thinking about and why I set out to do this in the first place. And it's like,
can't wait to do checks at Broadway.
I can't wait to do the Tonight Show, and then maybe someday I'll be on WTF.
I remember that, and something I wrote about early, right, where I was doing open mics, and I got a call going to IKEA to furnish Nicole's first apartment on 96th and 3rd Street. We were going together to get her shit. and Adam Glynn, who I had met like once, gave me a call to tell me that I was picked to seat and whatever at Broadway in exchange for spots. And I like cried. I was so excited about the opportunity to perform in front of a paying audience. And like, I was like, oh man, this is the step and this is it. And like, you know, the beginning of whatever. I'm finally like kind of in an ecosystem of comedy. And I wrote about it. And it like, that stuff to me is interesting to go back and check in on because it is like, it's embarrassing. Of course, it makes me feel weird to even admit and to talk about with it, but that's also what makes it great.
Exactly.
Because the transparent vulnerability of who I was as a person is like, I mean, that's it, man. That's what this is.
I 100% agree, and I think something got lost in translation. When I was writing in the diary, I was being vulnerable and everything, but when I first started, I was like, there was a part of me that's like, someone's going to read this.
Yeah.
Now, I don't give a fuck if you read it. I hope you read it when I die, but I'm writing it for me.
How many books do you say you have of journals? How many years?
Like 3 or
worth
4.
Of...
I don't know
that's
about
it?
years. Probably 2 years. Because it's also in my notebook that I write in. So I'll be like, I'll be writing jokes, and then I'll open and I'll go, oh, January, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is how I feel. But it's fun to look back because especially when I'm going through some sort of heartbreak, I look back and I read that and I'm like, this guy needs fucking work.
Oh, yeah.
This guy needs help, man.
Oh, yeah.
Someone help this man.
There's a very, I think in years 3 to 5 of my comedy, it was like before incels, but you could see I was heading on a weird men's rights path.
Yeah.
Because I was like clearly going through shit and processing past heartbreak and my current relationship
Bill
with
Burr
Nicole.
just got
and
big.
it was like all that. Exactly. It was all this perfect storm of whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to go revisit some of the cringe-inducing phases that you've gone through in life.
So
and in
interesting,
comedy.
dude.
Well, that's why I just think of like the physical allotment of that will take, because when I was doing that free writing stuff, I filled up 3 composition notebooks, and then I'm like, now they're just under my bed, and so you're like, if I was doing this my whole life, it would fill up my whole apartment. It would be like to do it online. Like I have stuff online or like in my notes or whatever. Well, I'll keep track of like, which I started doing, I think in 2015, like good things that happened in my comedy career this year. And it's wild because like I'll go back and look at some of those. And again, some of them will be like got passed to do checks at but then some of them will be like, I'll look at it and I'll go, holy shit, that was January of this year. Like sometimes we get wins that we feel like were 11 years ago because they weren't yesterday or this week. And so you have that element of it. But then it just the physical is what's the thing that I'm like, I don't even understand, because I know people that journal every single day, like every morning, every single day, handwrite everything out, and you're like, what do you do? Like, unless you read at the end of it and go, this is great, light it on fire or throw it out or whatever. But
Some
you're
people
like,
do that.
yeah, which is that
up.
I actually like. I almost understand that more than being like being like, we're moving in, and by the way, we need a closet for these. Bring it in, boys.
I rip it out and I eat it.
I've done that with like girlfriend shit, where it's like I need to fully move on. I've done it with one girlfriend in particular, but it was just like a horribly toxic relationship. Even some of the comedy that I wrote, because it was before I did comedy, but I was trying to write comedy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so like hateful and whatever. And I'm just like, I know somebody that literally took all their girlfriend shit and climbed up on a bridge, like where they, the train goes through, almost like Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And just put a barrel and fucking lit it on fire in the middle of the bridge. Cops got called. It was a whole big thing.
Oh my God.
That's not where I did it. Yeah, but I've done it in like the middle of a field where you're just like, it's a little queefy ceremoniously, but you're like, I need to let this go or else it'll kill me.
Yeah.
I need to do something that just symbolizes me just being like, get this the fuck off me.
And what's so funny about like the modern times is you can't do that. There's all these pictures of ex-girlfriends on our
In
phone,
the cloud.
and it doesn't even feel good to delete. It's not even like,
comes up in your memories, your archives. And did you want to tag them in this? That's still going, right?
Well, that's the best.
Yeah.
You surely haven't sabotaged this, right?
Even if you've deleted it off of your phone, it still pops up in social media when it's the 6th year anniversary.
Dude, I just went on Facebook for the first time in like, I posted a Facebook status, I should say, in the first time in like well over a year, because usually anything that goes on my Facebook is just posted from my Instagram. It just sends it there, and I don't have the Facebook app, so I'm never on it. And I went on there this past weekend, and I'm like, oh, let me like be on Facebook for a sec, and I looked at the friend requests, and there was like a few hundred of them, and I'm looking at them, and like, half of them are either like lunatic open micers that are just adding everyone. So then I'm always looking at mutual friends, and the only person that is mutually friends with every lunatic is Brendan. It's like he just is a fucking catch-all. The guy's like, he's like a 70-year-old guy with like holding like a not plugged in microphone, like with a face, and they're like, and his name is Johnny Bahama the comic, all one name, and it's like Brendan's mutually friends with him, and I'm like, I can't. But there were multiple people who were dead. Who were in there.
Oh my God.
I had multiple dead people.
Brendan's Facebook is the Ellis Island of the mentally ill. He just allowed everybody to come on in.
I go on Facebook once a week. Sometimes I'll like sometimes answer the friend request. I'm like confirm for no reason. I don't even.
Well, it's not even a thing of like, oh, like who cares about. It's the fact of like, so many of them are like fake account bots, like using it in hacking schemes to get into your account and stuff. But the others are just like, what is it going to benefit from? Oh, you didn't consider that?
Oh, great. I'm having my Dalia moment.
That's really...
Brendan just looked around going, you can get into the account?
Zikwael, a lot of Russian characters in a row could do something harmful to my account if I let them in and show them all of my interests and link to my phone number and to my other accounts. That could possibly be problematic.
Brendan, are you telling me Lucy Schwartz isn't a fan of me?
He accepted an account, like a friend request from Brandon Sagalow.
Yeah.
That's funny. Almost my name.
Or go.
What are the odds?
It's a mirrored image of his profile picture. He's like, this is cool.
Nose pierced on the other side. Pretty badass.
Pretty bad. I don't really like it that much. All right, let's do another question. But yeah, you should fucking when I diary, I stop myself. I just make it a page or two, but I feel when it should be over. It's not like free writing. I go like, and blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah, I do have a thing. I do have a thing that's like a locked note, like a digital thing that I could just write down, if it's like, if you're having a particularly stressful day. I was just saying more the physical writing. I didn't know what to do with them when you're done.
Yeah, I have like almost 100 notebooks, I think.
Wow. You keep them all? I've kept a lot of my comedy notebooks that I've just done for writing and stuff. And even that, I'm like,
it's all interchangeable. It's all
the same for me.
I have church and state, baby.
Which I love. That's like another part of like the Shandling thing where it's like jokes on a page, and then you flip one and he's like, today I almost killed myself. And you're like, all right. And then you go to another one.
I have like a sketch of Bill Cosby in one of my notebooks. That's insane.
Yeah, I like the romance of a notebook looking all fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like where it's like there's words.
You do love
everywhere.
the romance.
I do love the romance of it.
You love the romance of the sad sack.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm a sad sack.
I'm a sad sack, man. I'm a tragic poet.
Oh. No poets ever referred to them like that.
No.
I'm a very tragic poet.
All right, next question before
we didn't even answer that question.
Walk out.
You did. Whose private diary? You said Feeney, and then we got on a whole thing of crying, I guess. And I'm going to say that we know personally.
Yeah.
Now, personally, does that mean someone we have met once?
Oh, you know whose I like to read, actually?
Oh.
Al Martin.
No. Bobby's. I would love to read Bobby's.
Bobby Kelly?
Yeah.
I feel like all you have to do is call him.
I mean, he'll definitely tell you how he's feeling, no problem. But I do think that his journal is probably more of the soft Bobby that we all very much love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of that with not so much of the rage veneer to protect himself against all the dads that left him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking soft, I love stuff gooey inside of Bobbert Kelly.
Yeah.
You know what I would like, because like you just said that thing when you said, dude, you had to, if you know them personally, does that count meeting them once or twice? In which case, I'm going off that, and I'm going to choose Leonardo DiCaprio because I want him, I wanted just one of his pages to be like, I don't know, man. Should I be fucking all these women in St. Bart's? I don't know, man. Should I do this other Scorsese movie? I'm not good enough to be in a Scorsese movie. And you'd be like,
yeah. One of the people are really mad about the age of my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I love her.
She's just so hot.
I don't think he's ever had those thoughts.
No.
I really don't.
He's a childhood actor, so he has been abused and mentally
he doesn't give a
coddled
shit.
for
He barely cares about the environment anymore. Like he'll like randomly post, but like 10 years ago, he was like all the things that came out of his mouth were like protect the polar
because
bears.
as soon as people were like, "Well, fuck you and your private jets," he's like, "Fair point."
yeah. He's like, but
Fades in.
dude, there was like, I mean, I feel like we'd really get along with this guy, and he is going to be a podcast guest eventually. But Leonardo DiCaprio, I saw a video of Jonah Hill doing an interview on the red carpet, and then like Leo came behind him and was like kind of being like, "Yo, move," but he was like talking like that. He was talking out like we talk. He was like, "Bro, hurry it up, dude, fucking move."
So you'd think we'd be friends with Leo?
Yeah, anyone that talks like how you talk is an immediate friend.
Here's one asset I think I do have if we do get Leo on the podcast is that I'm very good at controlling the excited fanboy feelings, where I would probably over-treat him like one of us to the point that it might rub him the wrong way that I'm not doing enough like bowing down to him. And I feel like if I were him, I'd want to not have like just my dick sucked by every person, because that's gotta get so annoying to be like, and then you remember in Basketball Diaries when you were that kid, like, do a Chris Farley show to him. And I feel like if you're just like, dude, thanks for coming, man, it's great hanging out, he'd be like, what? Why don't they want to be my friend so bad?
Yeah.
I think I want to be his friend really, really bad.
I would physically suck his penis.
Yeah, I'd be under the table this entire time.
you'd have to take the reins of the show.
Would you rather?
I'd be speaking into his Shure 58.
Yeah. I hope he's on the next episode, so he's like, let me listen to these guys and see what the fuck's up.
Yeah.
I feel like I would like kind of do what you're saying. I would go completely like unfanboy and just not even acknowledge him. I'd be like, "What's up, man?" So, guys, try to I'd make him
just
feel
ice him
bad.
out.
Sounds like I'd be the only one nice to him, so it's cool that
I'd be nice. I'd be his bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be nice to him.
No,
I'm not gonna treat him like shit.
Well, you did just say you'd ignore him.
Yeah.
Anyway, the personal diary, Nicole. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, Nicole's
Just
like,
see
I'm
what she really
working with
feels
these
like."
3 gay losers every Wednesday.
The only way I can describe these guys is: do you remember the uncles from Casper? That's them. Feeney's the stinky one.
Now, I would like, because you just remind me of something very important.
Okay.
Nicole, can you pull up stuff that it'll go on this screen, right, or both of these screens, so we could see? Go ahead and go to the about section of your website real quick for us, because there's something I wanna talk about at not length, but I want it.
At a certain nausea, some would say.
Ad nauseum, some might say.
Yeah.
Now, look at this professional pic. I mean, I love, by the way, here's a scenario is across her website. Very,
damn right.
Yeah, proud of the show. But I mean, Nicole, this glamour shot with the professional headshot, it looks like you work at Google.
It looks like you work at Century 21.
Yeah. You can be my Remax agent.
Yeah, dude, I'd be afraid of you.
That's cool.
If
When
that
did
person
when were you the head
can you-
of Prudential?
Yeah, and you're wearing like, it looks like almost like a priest collar shirt, but it's like,
what's it
but
like?
it's also casual, like a white tee, but it's not.
What is that shirt?
We've got to know the story behind this photo shoot.
You got a little Christina Ricci.
You do got Christina
Yes,
Ricci.
you got some reach.
Not sure who that is, but
Oh
What?
my God.
Pull up a picture of Christina.
You don't know who she is while you worked at VP at NBC?
You don't know that she used to be engaged to former comedian / current flat earther Owen Benjamin?
She was?
Yeah, of course.
Oh my
she was.
God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I like the little joke too. Let's work together. Don't let the extreme close up of my face scare you. At least not as much as it scares me. So
Oh, as much as Brendan got scared
As much
while
as
talking.
your lack of control with your limbs terrifies you. It's unbelievable.
Don't let it scare me as much as it's scaring you.
You'd assume you'd be used to it, considering
You're like a skittish cat.
what?
What did you? Mike just said,
Mike
"Don't
said-
move his mic." Why?
Why?
Putting all your weight on the arm.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh, jeez. I like how
that was a
Mike,
real weight.
joke?
That was a
Mike,
real-
Mike did. I don't think it was.
I don't think it was a joke. I think it was a plea
Yeah, it was
to
it was
stop
more of,
breaking.
Put all this
I'll be
muscle
blamed.
on.
I'll be blamed for it. And Mike did just wake up to say that because he came here to take a 17-minute nap while listening to our podcast.
Yeah,
Now,
he's like,
but
he
Nicole,
walked in during the diary speeches.
Let's get to the nitty gritty here, which is this picture. What's the story behind it?
This is my former corporate lifestyle, so I had
Whoa.
a little LinkedIn photo shoot moment.
Nice.
And just as a heads up to everybody, because again, behind the curtain here, Nicole, I've only seen in like sweatpants or shorts and like a baggy tie-dye hoodie. I've never seen this Nicole.
Nicole is a hype beast,
Yeah.
I think, right?
I wouldn't say I'm a hype beast. I do. That's high praise, though. I really appreciate that, but I don't have a single Supreme article of clothing.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, so I
Not
guess
as-
you're not that. You don't wear like fucking Fila fanny packs and
Yeah.
every type of giant logo imaginable.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you definitely dress in streetwear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a certain evil behind the eyes of that picture.
I love it. I love it. I know that there's like, I'm going to step on your throat to get ahead. I know that we are mere pawns in
Yeah.
her game.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know who you kind of give off vibes of. You're a little Jan from The Office here.
Okay.
You
Jan Levinson
Yeah.
Gould.
Jan Levinson Gould. You give a little like I'm smiling, I'm powerful, I'm smart, and I will ruin your.
And once in a while, you just go, Michael. And then
Yeah,
everybody
yeah, yeah.
straightens up.
That's fair. No boob job, though.
No,
That's true.
yeah, that's just for
All right.
Brendan.
That's it.
That's just for me. Jesus. I don't trust that woman at all. Don't ever bring that picture back.
Great shot, though.
Honestly,
yeah.
flattered you looked at my website, so.
Sure.
You wanted to check your credentials.
Oh, I've done a deep dive on everybody. Every single person
He's read your diary.
that I've ever come in contact with. Yeah, that's why I had to keep it secret.
Yeah, he's been to my website, which is just a 1998 website.
What's your website? Is it like BrendanSagalow.com /wix/free/slash sponsored ad by?
Yeah.
Set up still.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it has a.
Oh no!
That doesn't make any sense,
Oh,
Well,
and that scares me.
Really? SagalowComedy.com.
I'm gonna- Just go to BrendanSagalow.com.
Might have been my fault.
No, well, you thought it was Mike Cannon Comedy, Mike Feeney
Feeney
Comedy,
Comedy.
Brendan
You
Sagalow
dumb
Comedy.
idiot. All of you. Stupids.
Brendan, you were just going to your phone. Yeah, you had to pull it up.
There it is. I hate my website. I need to. I guess, there you go.
It's fine.
It's fine. Why are we looking at my website? I'm going to put a picture of Nicole. I'm going to put that picture of Nicole on.
It's fine. Why are we looking at my website? No one look at my website. No one go to it.
Okay, here we go. If you were on trial and someone you know who is not a lawyer had to act as your legal representative, who would you want to defend you?
Who is not a lawyer?
Yeah.
You know who might be a good choice because he's played a lawyer on podcasts is Dave Smith.
Oh,
Because he will read up enough, or at
would
least,
be
you know what
really
Dave will do? Dave will have a thing when he's listening to the prosecutor talk and really like throw me under the bus for some like absolutely caught dead red situation. He'd just be sitting there, not paying attention, just reading the New York Times, just like kind of flipping, thumbing through. And then when they're like, all right, defense, you have a speech, and he would just kind of take a sec and they'd be like, defense, you're up. And he'd go, all right, now listen, you do that crazy awesome fold that they do and
He'd
then
be
put it
smoking
down.
a cigar in the corner.
And you go, now,
What cigar makes that noise?
what you've all heard here is mere conjecture because my client,
Yeah,
like he's
You go, you're making a lot of really good points. One thing you forgot, though, the cameras were never on.
so
Your Honor,
I'm picking Dave Smith because I feel like he's a
I'm going to pick a golden retriever
Okay.
with a little bow tie on and call the whole, or a kangaroo. I'm gonna use an actual kangaroo and call it kangaroo court.
but they're defending you, so they would be that would
Making fucking, you just throw something at me?
No.
Damn.
what would but you call kangaroo court on yourself,
I'm calling kangaroo court on myself.
but then you get in the pouch and hop away.
yeah.
Slimy.
Your Honor, this is kangaroo court.
Like, Mr. Sagalow, we've told you not to bring your kangaroo several
Yeah,
days in a row
yeah.
now.
Also, that's not going to get you off the rape. We are very serious about pursuing this.
Yeah,
this,
I'm on a high-speed chase on a highway in a kangaroo pouch.
how fast can a roo get up to? I'm going to say in
You're not gonna call
25
it a kanga?
miles.
A roo really sounds like a racial slur for a kangaroo.
I think a roo is the baby.
43
Oh,
miles an hour.
That's a boomer.
A kid.
43 miles
Wow.
per hour. Like
Wow.
way faster than I thought.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
and that's without me in the.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
So like
with
15.
6.
Yeah.
It's a slow hop.
It's dying.
Yeah, Brendan's ripping through the bottom of its pouch.
Yeah.
No, I have like a fucking Banjo Kazooie kind of thing where I do put my feet through the fucking pouch, and then I run, and then when I get tired, it hops.
So it just hops the whole time.
Well, for like, I'd get tired after like a block because I'm like holding this giant boomer on me.
I love that ripped kangaroo.
Look at that.
6-pack, no pouch though.
I feel like that kangaroo
boy.
it could piggyback me. You know,
That
Dude.
thing could gore you to death with its hooves.
If someone let me see how sharp a kangaroo's
I'll
feet
catch it
are.
like a
They,
fish.
yeah, dude, they stand on their tail and then they spear through
Yeah.
your soft, supple
If they don't have
skin.
sharp like nails at the bottom, if it's just like, you know, like those feet that look like our arms, kind of a thing like that. If they do that, I'd let one of those. It could be in a controlled situation. Oh, that's sharp.
just
That's
a
too sharp.
dagger.
Yeah.
That's too sharp. Never mind.
velociraptor.
I was gonna say if you could declaw one, I'd let it punt me
I really cannot.
for money.
I don't like kangaroos.
Yeah. If you could declaw a kangaroo,
I would take a
fight
kick.
it. I would fight.
I wouldn't even fight. I'll take like a cover my balls, jackass. Like I'll let you do that for 500
think it
Patreon
would-
members.
I think it would turn your rib cage into dust.
Why haven't they done that on Jackass?
Because I'm sure it's wildly inhumane to pluck the talons out of a
Yeah.
kangaroo's feet.
It's almost they're trying to make it illegal to declaw cats,
Damn. I'm just
which
saying,
it is fucked up because that's literally how cats are able to like sense and move around is like their nails, and when people declaw them because they're like, I don't want them to scratch my furniture, then they're just
Yeah.
like slipping all the time because they don't
Yeah.
know how to.
Well, then there's going to be a drop in the populace of cats because
Yeah.
who the fuck wants a scratched up sofa?
why don't they? I'm going back to the Jackass kangaroo bit.
Yes.
Why couldn't they have done that and put like mittens on the kangaroo? Or
That you could
something?
do.
Yeah.
You know? Put kickboxing
Kitten mittens.
feats.
Yeah, kitten mittens, or put fucking boxing gloves. That makes sense, doesn't
Right.
it?
Yeah,
Is there video of a kangaroo boxing with boxing gloves?
Yes,
there's got to be.
there are.
Mike
is?
just shook his head
Yeah, of
violently.
course. I watch it every night.
He's like, I'm a big kangaroo boxing
It's
guy.
the only way I could sleep.
Oh, well,
Hey,
this
there's
guy.
this guy.
For sure. Who I,
Terrifying to have your dog in a fucking
I do think
headlock.
if my dog was in a headlock with this, I think I feel like I
Oh
would
my
have
God.
the same.
I
same
love that
courage
the
to do that.
I love that
ran
the
away.
dog. Yeah, I was gonna say the dog provided zero. Dog was like, "Your problem now, buddy," and then just like runs out of there.
Yeah, that thing's a lot bigger than
I
you think, dude.
guarantee, for some reason, this guy still got in trouble with like animal rights people.
I mean,
Oh
he
my
shouldn't.
God.
have.
No, he
they're
shouldn't.
known to kill dogs. Like
Yeah.
Why?
They do that all the
They
time.
they grab dogs and then like bring them into the fucking
and rape them.
do they rape them?
I believe. Yeah, there's a big dog.
That
rape
bell means we've said
problem.
rape too many times.
Let's do one more question. Go to here'sascenario.com for all things this podcast. You got the link to the iTunes where you guys should go to write a review, rate the pod, help get in front of more eyes. The algorithm pushes it the more you guys do that. So continue writing reviews. Thank you for passing it along. This is a word of mouth operation. That's how people find out about their pods. We appreciate everybody sharing it on social media. That's huge. But if you could, tell a bunch of your friends, hey, I like these three morons. It's they bat around some hypotheticals, some what ifs, some scenarios, all that stuff. It's a wild, fun time. They don't get into anything too serious. Every once in a while, they really expose themselves for who they truly are. It's great. If you like this show, we have additional content, 2 bonus episodes every single week at patreon.com/scenariopod. We do a bonus one of these, which is we still answer the questions, but it's a little bit looser feel. And then on Fridays, we have a show called Blunts with the Boys, where it's a smoking session with me, Brendan, and Feeney, filmed by our boy Lucas, and it's a really good time. And then we put all of our additional content up.
And I guess because you're listening to the podcast and you might even be a subscriber to the Patreon, which thank you for being there, then you would love to see us on August 11th at Soul
Yes.
Joel's in Royersford, PA. Buy tickets now. The three of us are going to be there. Some special friends, some guests. I mean, we're going to do stand-up. We're going to do podcasting. We're going to do it all, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. For everything else, go to our websites for tour dates and come see us do stand-up.
MikeFeeneyComedy.com, MikeCannonComedy.com, BrendanSagalowComedy.com. Don't try any other combination. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And
BrendanSagalow.com, you can. And last question, and this is a fun one. If you could have changed one thing about your first sexual experience, what would it be?
that it was with a woman.
Me too.
No. Sexual experience. Could you qualify that as sex or just like kissing and making out? Is that
Let's just
Kissing.
go with sex.
Oh, okay.
Go with sex.
Let's
When
just
did
go
you
with
first have sex? How old were you?
17.
Okay.
And what
Same
had
dog.
what had happened was we went to a
Quick, clear your throat once more to bring more attention to it.
Yeah.
we went to a planetarium. We took brownies with weed in them, and we went to a planetarium and we watched a laser light show of the Beatles, and then we went back to my house and we fucked to a Blink-182 song.
You had edible sex
That's
for
the
your first sex?
Yeah.
That's super short sex. Blink-182 songs are like 2 minutes long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the song "Feeling This," and
Oh my God.
I was
That is, and then you're going so fast during the thing, and then all of a sudden it goes to the pre-chorus. You're like, "Fate fell short this time."
I'm not wearing a condom.
Yeah.
I wish I had even the remote skills to be able to like slow down.
Were you
during the
gloved up?
fucking- I was gloved up. Yeah,
Oh, good
my
for you.
girlfriend at the
First
time.
and last time.
Yeah.
My girlfriend at
The only time it was safe.
Yeah.
No, I
The only time where the gal had a full clean slate.
Yeah.
yeah. I glove up when it's strangers, and sometimes.
That's the problem, you see. It's the sometimes and strangers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I be great with a kid though?
No.
That kid would end up like that kid from Breaking Bad who had the crack parents or whatever, the meth parents.
Yeah, the ATM falls on your face
Yeah.
in front of your kid, and you're like, all right, I guess I'm better off.
Yeah.
For sure.
I guess I would rather not have mine be at a loud house party. But at the same time,
Oh, yeah.
it's kind of very like American Pie-esque, which also was kind of like a driving force in all of us needing to get laid before college kind of a thing. So it did actually play out in what would be a scene in American Pie. So I guess to that, it was great, but I didn't come.
I came.
I can't
and it was
imagine
very
that she
quick.
did either.
I don't think I would change a goddamn thing about my first
I
experience.
wouldn't either. I didn't.
Yeah.
It was with my wife, weirdly enough, when we
Cool.
were 15 years old. I think it was after homecoming or something like that. And it was also the first time she blew me, which was interesting. So
Wow.
it was right at we were just like, let's just have sex. And she was like, all right. And then she started crying, and I was like trying
She
to
started crying.
because it hurt. Like
Oh.
we were having sex, and I was just trying to. Yeah, I wasn't like she was
Yeah.
just slapping her in the face.
regretting.
She started
that.
crying.
You
She
don't
was
need to-
screaming no. It's
Yeah.
kind of like
yeah.
it's kind of like Saturday Night Fever, the movie we talked about in great detail last
Oh,
week.
so maybe I would change consent.
Yeah.
Consent.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
That's the show. We'll see you next week. Join the Patreon.
Bye.
Get consent.
Here's the Scenario is Mike Feeney, Mike Cannon, and Brendan Sagalow. Executive producers Robert Kelly and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button Podcast. For more information about the show, visit here'sthescenario.com.
The scenario.